Okay. Hey everybody. First, I just want to give it up to Lucia and Shiny and Imaji because it's day 3 of Crypto Art Soul and it's crazy that you're still standing. It's crazy you're doing translation for each other and giving us, putting this all on after what we just put on. Like really, give it up to say. Yeah. Y'all are amazing. I don't know how you're standing. Alright, so what we're doing today is we're celebrating this exhibition, and I think also we have an opportunity. We know a lot of people in the crowd, so like we'll talk a little bit too. We've had a long week, let's keep it fun. Let's talk about what this is about. We'll introduce ourselves and explain a little bit about what we're into and what we're up to. But then let's make it so that people that are here can kind of ask questions and we can kind of go back and forth and keep it a bit more up. Alright, so hi, my name is Edward Zipco. I'm the director and co-founder of Superchief Gallery and Superchief Gallery NFT. And we helped to curate this exhibition with our sister gallery, Uncommon Gallery. We're very proud to have opened the first NFT gallery in the world. And what we have had the opportunity to do once we achieved that was to position and center artists that we love and believe in and present the underground and the best of the underground to the best opportunities that we can find around the planet. We found galleries that we share beliefs in, and this is one of those galleries, so we're excited to have our first exhibition together here in Korea. So we've got Gordon Berger, we've got Vnadalo, the founder of NFT Rome, and yeah, let's discuss the show. So this exhibition was about AI, and we really wanted to focus it on the surreal nature of text to video, and the I think kind of again capturing this moment of early exploration with AI video. Gordon, your experience with AI, like bringing you into this show, I think like you experimented with AI in a bit of a different way, and your world that you were presenting fits this, but I think it's the only static image in the entire show. So when you're looking around the rest of the exhibition, what are your thoughts about your peers? And do you feel that these are like a good representation of your peers in AI? I think it gets sectored out.
Hi everybody. First of all, thank you for Uncommon Gallery for organizing this and really curating amazing artists. I'm really proud to be in a group show with like amazing colleagues like this. And yeah, it's really interesting. Like I actually have the only physical painting on canvas here. While you can see everything else is like videos, really interesting like AI animations, and it's a very beautiful contrast I think because like both of these the different types of artworks kind of originate from kind of the same source, which are these like large machine learning models. Experimentation. Yeah, and definitely very nice. Like the exhibition really nicely showcases the diversity and the uniqueness in expression of how different artists utilize these large text-to-image or text-to-video models. So I think it really showcases how like every artist can express themselves in a very unique way to their own practice using these things. Like kind of quite, I think in an interesting way exploring what's the role of creativity in this age of machine learning and AI, and kind of what's the role of human expertise and vision in art.
Can you quickly explain how you wound up with a physical painting, and then let's take that to Luca from that.
Okay, so basically the process, I'll quickly summarize it. Basically it has 5 main steps. So the first step is data being something that's kind of the lifeblood of our digital world. So for that step, I analyzed and scanned every single artwork I reproduced since I was a kid till like a month ago. So every single piece I created was scanned, and then that brings us to step number 2, which is algorithms. So essentially use this data of all of my artworks to train 4 custom AI models, and each model was kind of trained on artworks from a specific period of my life. Then the third section, the third part of the process, was actually thinking, how can we add the human element to it? Like, how can we add something that's like very emotional or like deeply human? Like things that maybe inspire us, or feelings that we feel. So I kind of identified concepts that had that impact in my life and assigned each concept to a single artwork, and then kind of explored how the AI perceives and manifests those ideas, experiences, and concepts and emotions. So the big thing I actually exhibit there is called First Love. So it's something that most of us or everybody can experience at some point. And it's like really interesting to see how does the AI perceive the concept of first love, but being trained on all of the artworks that I kind of created in the period when I was experiencing first love. So this was like in high school or primary school for me. So I kind of used art from that period to train a model, and then kind of explore some of these concepts that were really evolving or changing me at that time. And then the final kind of two parts of the process were exploring the latent space, which essentially means that exploring the multiplicity that AI brings us, all of these different variations as we can see in the artworks, and kind of this abundance of the visual and exploring the different content manifestations. And then the final step was actually 3D. So I kind of wanted to combine multiple versions of an artwork, of a concept, into one single 3D cube. To kind of almost have this three-dimensional object, or a sculpture that embodies this concept of multiplicity that AI brings us. So that's kind of how we ended up with the cubes. And then I chose one side of the cube to actually manifest it into the physical reality, and as in the form of a painting. So first I printed on a canvas the image, and then I actually painted over it. So it was really beautiful because the painting, the digital painting, the digital image, let's say, was created based on all of the artworks that were created. And then I'm kind of full circle because it's printed, and I actually get inspired by it and actually painted on top of it. So that's kind of the process.
So that's back in that room to the left, if anyone wants to check it out after this.
So, first of all, I would like to repeat congratulations for the incredible event. I think it was one of the first best editions that I've ever attended to. The level of organization and management was sincerely out of this world. I've never seen something like this. You've demonstrated an ability to scale this up for next year, and I'm here for it. I think that we're all here for it. I just wanted to take 1 second to talk about this exhibition that's going on right here. I would like to give you one moment to really focus and reflect a little bit more on the very important cultural implications of what is happening right now here in this gallery. There is a point of view that we could focus on, which is the fact of the subjectivity of the artist. So the fact that, yes, we're having a lot of different tests and practice of the use of text to video AI happening in here. But on a larger scale, what I want you to understand, and the reason why this exhibition that we're having right here, right now, is so impactful, is the fact that once you put this in perspective with the concept of singularity, what is happening right here is that it's a full demonstration of how human beings are right now participating into a larger ecosystem that is going to allow for anything that is thinkable, conceivable, to become reality almost instantly. So the massive nature of the curation of this exhibition really needs a moment to be taken in as a collective, really, exhibition. To understand that what is going on here artistically goes beyond every single painting, but goes connected to a bigger and larger narrative of the fact that this is a cultural exhibition that in a certain way talks about the fact that all human beings are becoming part of a larger data set form of creation, where together we are creating the base of what can be an AI-powered future that will allow really for a concept like singularity, where visual concepts, textual concepts, anything that really can be conceived through a remixed culture of all of our lives, past, present, and future, is going to lead to. So, to me, what we're having here right now is particularly special beyond the visuals that we're seeing, but just for the concept of being able to participate in this right now. And it almost feels really religious to me when I talk about singularity. That said, I have to say that what Edward is doing particularly is absolutely interesting, because he's taking this concept of becoming part of almost like a collective consciousness by all creating prompts together, and what he's doing is not only he's allowing artists to have this experimentation, but then as a curation, what he's doing is really next level. He's trying to put all these visual outputs together, and he's trying to make understanding people that we can play this concept of creating a data set creating a collection and then having that as a data set, producing other artworks. And this is really a new form of language of art that I'm really looking forward to see Superchief exploring. I'm here for it, both technologically, culturally, and as a spokesperson. I'm really looking forward. I'm not seeing a lot of other realities doing this. I will research, and maybe it's interesting to see.
We'd love to meet them.
Yeah, like it's not
Love to
even
meet
competition. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's literally it's let's share data sets. Let's build models together.
I will quickly state this work behind us is actually created by New Robot, who's in the exhibition as the only non-AI artist. We put him in here to contextualize the visuals and the aesthetics and the visions of all of these artists to the artists that did that with old school CGI rigging. And that it's they're in a history of aesthetic. They may be participating through the medium of AI and be a incredible evolutionary baby step into what's about to happen. But I want to show it in context to the other artists that visualize the same way, but play with different tools. And that guy spends like 800 hours doing that. He's figured out much, much faster ways to do it. And he's also in the past worked with GAN sets and done other things. But this is like one of his aesthetics. And it's just, I don't know, I want to make sure that when there's elements of context in how the exhibition is put together, that when I can get a moment to highlight on the big screen, I'll shout.
Just to add to that, my sensation coming in this gallery, I was taking a walk earlier, is that I don't, even though this Uncommon Gallery, by the way, it's amazing. I just saw pictures being here for the first time. This place is mind-blowing.
This is his work.
This is Gordon, yeah. I really don't feel like I'm inside a gallery right now. Because of this exhibition, I feel like I'm inside a larger consciousness, almost like a brain. I'm seeing all different parts of physical realizations of different potential ideas. Like these are windows to the infinite possibilities of the potential. So again, I think that conceptually itself, having this type of gallery, it's huge props for Uncommon to understanding the value and hosting it, and huge props to Superchief for thinking on doing it. So beyond that, it's just like a very big conversation we can have then on the nature of this exhibition, I believe.
Super hyped that you're here for this. Let's also open it up if anybody has a question or anybody wants to say anything, we can answer stuff. I mean, it's cool to kind of have this be an open dialogue because, we do this all day. What up, Greta?
So there are many styles of art in Web3. For example, we have AI and coding. So because of this, all this essay developed, all this new style got also hyped thanks to the NFT techniques. And about AI, I was always wondering that nowadays, still AI is very at the beginning point. So for example, Roope Rainisto, that's kind of Roope Rainisto, Crea Silver. When we see their artworks, we can kind of see some error. And that's what's really beautiful. That's why what glitch art has also beautiful side. Totally. And then when the time will go, sometimes at some point, we can't recognize what is AI and what is not AI, like the movie business right now. The movies, for example, Transformer, I see it's an animation and graphic. It's not movie anymore. What is movie, right? So at the end, if we have this future, what can AI can be really AI? Is it important AI has to have a pure value? Or I think the time we are having it, still we can see some error of AI, which is really beautiful. Midjourney provides 6 fingers and stuff like that. I think it's very...
Did you see our exhibition yesterday?
I will.
Missed it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, we'll show you the video.
All right.
We gave a speech about that.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. We put 20 minutes on that whole subject. We totally, deeply agree.
Yeah, so please, I want to have some opinions, because how do you think of this error period, which is really precious for me, and then how you think in the future?
You're pitching our show to us. So, contribute to it, first of all, as an ongoing rolling exhibition over the next year. All right, so the concept is, it's a show of hands. So the consistent break in the medium, the consistent flaw, is that hands show up mutated, deformed, bizarre. And we love it. It's because you don't see that, and that became a striking, iconic thing that you could be drawn to. And it was curious to find what Easter egg moment it would be when you see somebody's art. You just wait to catch that part that's gonna be broken. That was fun. You know, that was an aesthetic period of time in that being a natural, authentic output. We are knocking on the door of photorealism, that being effortless. They already can do it. In all honesty, you can fucking do it. But it's getting easier. And the breaks in the machine, the mutation in the hand, it's fading out, for sure, you know? But, you know, not for nothing, but I know scarcity is the game in the market, but I personally love the fact that there's a million fucking outputs from these artists, and that there's a dozen options every which way. I really think that it's a kind of a shame that we wind up picking 1/4 of the screen, and then it's over, and that all those threads are gone. I think that's bullshit, personally, but I think the treasure trove of work that is hopefully from that abundance, from this era, I think is really valuable because it's legitimate. And the technology, once you get past a certain point, imperfection is a choice. If the imperfection is a choice, artistically, that's a different statement you're making. You know, so like that inherently, like that's a hardwired issue. You know, so I think that in itself is really important. So we created this exhibition called A Show of Hands. There's like this Brian Eno quote that we like put in the exhibition because it got to me. It's about like how you remember music and eras in music, and it's like you remember the record kind of skipping and popping. You remember like tape hiss. It's like that's how you have nostalgia for a period of time. Exactly. It's the break in the medium. It's the limitation of the medium being exceeded. So I think like that's a really cool way to understand the art that we're all obsessed with right now. And that era kind of ending while we're conscious of it allows us to participate in art history a little bit and gather that shit up and contextualize it and present it as a museum exhibition. So like for the next year, we're gonna be adding to it and keep bringing it. If the thing works out in Venice with Vnadalo, we'll do the museum thing. So there's stuff, but like ideally, I don't want it just to be Superchief curated. Initially, when we did it, we had a list of curators and we were gonna hit everybody, but then I was like, well, time doesn't really work for that. I'm not gonna have 45 conversations with curators and pretend that we all have time for that shit. We don't. We'll just proof of concept, we'll release the show, we'll do it ourselves, we'll talk to everybody we care about, and then we'll keep stating that it's a rolling exhibition. Because it's a time capsule, it's an opportunity to kind of put the DNA together and have a bunch of eyes on it. And then it's a really cool concept to like, you know, I keep saying the fly in the ointment, which is like a saying that I think not too many people know, but it's like, you know, it's the flaw, you know, and it's also the mosquito in the amber, because I want to do like a Jurassic Park on this thing, you know, and like freeze this moment and then be able to use it as DNA that we can reach back into as a data set, which becomes interesting, and just, you know, take a snapshot of the scene. So show of hands.
If I can, another thing that's happening here that's very interesting is that what Superchief is doing is showcasing and leveraging one of the functions of NFT technology that sometimes is overlooked, which is timestamp. A lot of people through NFT technology just assume that we have the opportunity to commodify art, and so we are essentially creating this dynamic where we are visualizing family wealth through digital. But not often in an artistic challenge, there's the opportunity to leverage the timestamp. So the minting of the artworks in this case, beyond the concept of having to sell them through a gallery, was working out for Superchief is the fact that yes, you can use the older models, but who was here in 2021, 2022, doing this stuff and certified who was here doing this stuff? So let's certify it again. Like for an underground gallery to be leveraging technology in this way, really, I think this is like a lot of praise that has to go to Superchief, because mixing the underground with the technology in this time point in where we are right now, not only is an extreme challenge, but it's something that not a lot of people that are from the underground are understanding that they can do. So,
but it's the use case. Yeah. We're trying to present the use case of early access to technology and then time and luck. You know, it's like putting a lot of time into it, but getting access first and showing up to things that are outside of your comfort level, but like learning a lot. You know, I think what I'm trying to reinforce for our artists is like you can, and the communities we get to like get access to, it's like you can jump to the fucking front of the line. Like, people don't know about this, they don't care about this yet. And that's kind of just everything in Web3, everything in technology. Like, most people just assume they're consumers. And it's like, I totally get it. We are consumers. But also, you can meet the people that make this shit. And they're dying for like real feedback. And if you're like really in touch with why that thing sucks, they might hire you. And it's like, it's really like opportunity on top of opportunity in this industry. And I think it's also part of that singularity shift. It's part of technology growing. And it's also part of technology becoming magic. So yeah, I'm trying to bring as many people through that door before established people as possible, because it provides more access. 100.
Definitely. I just wanted to highlight something I find kind of personally very interesting and currently exploring is, as Rita mentioned, for example, like GANs and stuff like that, and you said you can always use older versions. That's totally right. But I'm just thinking like a new possibility that I think people will slowly start realizing also exists here is you can kind of also utilize maybe like future. And what I mean by that is there's ways now. So for example, if you have an AI model, currently a lot like what some artists do, they usually either use an AI model, like a big AI model that's already created, or they create a new version of an AI model. Like I created a version only trained on my art. Somebody can create a version only trained on cats or something like that. But basically, that means you kind of create a whole new model, like a whole new AI model that's like very huge. But there's a new version now, a new option that you can do, which is essentially to use one of the big AI models like Stable Diffusion, but you can essentially use a technique called LoRa, which essentially means it adds layers, almost like lenses, within a model, within a specific big model. And in a way that means you actually effectively customize that model without actually creating a huge new model,
Yeah.
And usually, like when you just create these lenses, they're actually the file sizes are very small. So what that means also, apart from the file sizes being very small, it means that these lenses can be later used and inserted in future variations of this model, which is really beautiful because then, as this like big model, like for example, Stable Diffusion, which is trained on like billions of images, as it evolves through time, it kind of can also evolve with your lenses. So you can kind of like through this lens that you created today, of whatever data set you used for it, you can essentially use it in the future with data sets that do not exist now. So almost your custom lens can be almost interacting with the future and future models. So I kind of find that really fascinating at the moment.
So it stays updating within their system, the lens that you're pulling?
It doesn't stay updating, but you can update it. You can literally, let's say, insert it in this version of Stable Diffusion.
Okay.
And then like in 10 years, there's going to be like, 30 new ones, and you can hopefully actually also insert it.
It's close to what you were saying, the mosquito and gander. No, it's what you were saying, the mosquito and gander. It's like a technical solution that is like faster for that.
Yeah, however, it's not quite really a mosquito because it's not, a mosquito and gander is like really capturing a moment. And this is kind of like having a fragment of the moment, but also having a dialogue with the newness, whatever comes next. So it's almost like...
Which is what they did with Jurassic Park. They mixed the DNA of the dinosaurs with the frogs.
Yeah, so it's kind of like mixing the future with the present in a way,
The end of it all.
Yeah, which is also kind of interesting when you think about like when, for example, like I scanned artworks that I created maybe like 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or some stuff like that, and the way the AI models learned to recognize what I actually created was based on most of the images that were created in the last 10 years. So it's a really interesting dialogue of like images from the past, almost like kind of interacting and being analyzed by the lens of the images from the future.
It's cool to coexist with different time periods of yourself.
Yeah.
That's an interesting mental framework to apply to how these things, like the tool itself, can get that complicated. To be honest, there's a lot of great work being made, and it was killer to have it flow in like that. It's fun.
So was it difficult to choose?
It was difficult to
Pare it down?
It was well, no, I love it quick, but like I think what was interesting was working with two other curatorial bodies and not wanting to step on toes, because it was a little bit, I felt a little guilty because again I went quick, so I think I hit everybody with my list the night before it was due, and then I was like, these are mine. And it's just like I realized I did it, and then I realized that I did it, and then my team told me I did it, and I was like, right. I hope that's all right. And it was a lot of like just trying to be respectful to everybody because it was like a nice group, and everybody killed it. So I'm really happy about it because we had a very long, good list of submissions.
Thanks.
Cool. Our clock is up. Thanks, everybody.